Vision Communications Incorporated, its management, or advertisers. Vision Communications Incorporated is not responsible for the validity or accuracy of information presented on this program. Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Norman Shealy and Dr. Sergey Leo Shealy-Sorin. Get the health answers you need from the creator of holistic medicine and the 2020 Holistic Doctor of the Year. To be a part of today's show, call 417-447-1777. Wellness Wednesday. Now, here are your hosts, Dr. Norman Shealy and Dr. Sergey Leo Shealy-Sorin.
And hello, how are you? The inspiration for today's topic is it's actually a quote by Nikola Tesla, and it goes something like this. If you want to understand the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. There's a very interesting component to this, and we're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about your mind. We're going to talk about the control center that guides everything you do. We're going to talk about another important thing, Schumann frequency, literally the heartbeat of the earth. And we're going to talk about the electromagnetic aspect of life. And we're going to explore all these three amazing aspects and how it all ties in. So the first half an hour, get ready for a interesting show. We're going to go into all sorts of amazing things. And then second part of the show, welcome, of course, questions, any thoughts, and anything that comes to mind. And of course, I do want to announce as we are starting up the show that there is a special coming up, and it's going to be a 15% off on everything for until the end of the month. And it's only, code is SUMMER22, 15% on everything, including the PEMF. Dr. Shealy is enjoying the benefit of that right now. But let's get right into the topic. Electromagnetic aspect of humanity and the world. Interestingly enough, let's start the conversation with something, our favorite topic, and this is something that Dr. Shealy has caught on really early on, Schumann frequency. What is Schumann frequency? 7.83 cycles per second, and in 1952, I believe, professor or academician by the name of Schumann was trying to explain to his class students certain things about the Earth in a certain, in other words, what is the frequency of the Earth? And there was a calculation, as a matter of fact. So between the ionosphere and the Earth's surface, there is actually, he was able to calculate and show 7.83 cycles per second, and that is all around the world, all around the Earth, surrounding every living thing that's here on Earth. Animals, plants, humans, all of it. Interestingly enough, Schumann frequency came under interesting investigation when one of the researchers back in the 50s decided to see what happens when you remove the Schumann frequency, the support, the electromagnetic support for life. And so they had volunteers, students who were put in bunkers for up to a couple of weeks, which is a terrible thing to begin with. Almost similar to what's been happening for the past several years in our own homes. But anyhow, the thing about those bunkers is that isolation, and not just that, isolation from the frequencies. And those young, healthy people developed problems, mental, emotional, physical. They started breaking down. And what happened was they reintroduced the 7.83 cycles per second, or Schumann frequency, and that relieved a lot of their symptoms. Now, it's not the same as being outside, but again, it decreased the damage. It allowed regeneration. Second interesting thing in correlation that happened around the same time is there was a discovery of something called brainwaves. And this became the topic and the subject for what we have been working with. And I've been working with this for over 10 years plus, interestingly enough. And then this concept was introduced, the frequencies, the languages of the brain. And we'll talk about that. All of that came into the biogenics, which Dr. Norm Shealy has put together as a self-regulation system since the 70s. And actually, just a quick summary of the whole thing, Dr. Shealy has played and worked with frequencies, binaural beats, gamma. All these are all things that are basically wonderful for the brain, wonderful for the body, Schumann frequency. and how to generate all those frequencies, healing, supportive frequencies for the body, for the mind, for the health, for the well-being. And so we'll talk about that, and we'll hear directly from the founder of the the entire field of energy medicine. But I do want to kind of give a quick, concise summary here. So there are certain brain waves in the that control who we are. I call them the languages of the brain, and it starts with delta, 0 to 3 cycles per second. That is good for stage 3 deep sleep, relaxation, reset. It's also good for decreasing the nerve activity. So for example, sciatica or things of that nature. Then there's the next range, which is 4 to 7 cycles per second, which is theta. Theta is a brainwave state where you have extraordinary experiences, insight, deep relaxation, light sleep. It's an essential stage where young kids are there naturally. Adults forget about that. We don't remember that we have this in our life, and we can. Next phase, which is very important for this discussion, is alpha. From approximately around 8 cycles per second to, say, 12 cycles per second. And that range, this is where the Schumann frequency starts to fall into, 7.83 cycles per second. That is a wonderful range, and it's a reset. It's a relaxation. It's if you drive a stick shift, it's the in between where you can go up into the beta, alert, awake, or you can come down and relax, reset. But it's a place without which you do not have balance. This is where people burn out. This is adrenal fatigue, stress, a relentless onslaught of life in our society, and hence the results, physical and mental breakdown. Interestingly enough, then of course there's gamma, which is a wonderful brainwave state, and the gamma, by the way, is 40 cycles per second optimal brainwave state. Is that what you're enjoying right now, gamma?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there's actually 3 modes here. We'll talk about this here, and there's obviously ways to support and enhance that in the body. And for example, we talked about delta. There's a third mode number 3, which you can, the way I use it is put this under the pillow, the ring, and just keep it charged all night. During the day, there's a choice between the sweep, the Schumann frequency, with the multiples of 7 for the 7 energy centers, nerve plexuses, chakras, however people want to think of it as. It's there. It is what it is. It works. And last but not least, I do want to mention a secret, which is not so much a secret, but people don't know about this. Everything in the body is electromagnetic. Every cell, every atom, every molecule. Everything is based on electromagneticity. And if it's healthy, we're healthy. If it's not, we're not. For example, there is remind me please, make sure that I got this right, minus 70 millivolts across a cell membrane on a healthy cell, a nerve cell, otherwise. If that charge goes down or up, if the charge is off, the electromagnetic milieu, the environment in the body is off, that's when we get all kinds of problems. Diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, mental and emotional distress, depression, anxiety, you name it, lots of things. In other words, when we're not aligned, when we're not optimized, it's the opposite. So, to me, my personal perspective is I want to be optimized. I also came across, and I know I'm talking here quite a bit, but this is fascinating. I came across something that I remembered from a while ago. Origin of life. DNA. A lot of people say this is genetics. This is my, again, this is inherited. I have there's nothing I can do about it. This is what my family has had. This is what I'm going to have. This is what my kids are going to have. Guess what? If a person puts that in their mind and in their practice and their patterns, you're going to get exactly that, a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's why things run in families, not just by genetics, by example, by lifestyle. And lifestyle is one of those things we're also going to talk about and we're going to get into, because that's the foundation. Nutrition, activity, movement, sleep, rest, body mass index, weight. And then there's stress management. And there's ways to do that. There's many ways up the ladder, so to speak. But the bottom line is it's all essential. The thing about DNA is the DNA is also electromagnetic. And it's been said that the origin of life, entire life, so to speak, if one goes with a theory, is it started with electromagnetic bacteria. Now, I wasn't there to witness that, but let's assume that that's correct. Let's assume that that's a fact. because there's plenty of science that points that direction. Now, science is not always right, but let's give it the benefit of doubt. Why is that important? Because, and this actually correlates with something very important topic. When you have a DNA, and this has been experiments done with that as well, a healthy DNA and an unhealthy DNA. The unhealthy DNA, by the forces of electromagnetism, will actually resonate and adjust and fix, so to speak, to what is better, what is good, what is healthy. Also, you can throw in a bunch of building materials in the vacuum, and then if you put another template, in other words, it's like a tuning fork. You have one tuning fork and another tuning fork. Resonance means the resonance or frequency of energy vibration of one entity is going to affect the other. So, meaning that that the DNA that's disorganized in the building blocks will actually get organized based on the electromagnetic signature of the parent strain, so to speak. That is incredible to know, because we do not have the excuse, we don't have the luxury of blaming our parents, our genetics, our genes for everything that's happened, because we have to take responsibility and accountability for everything that takes place. It's called, there's genetics, and then there's epigenetics. In other words, we control how the genes are expressed. We control what is turned on, what is turned off. And we can do that through various ways. Number one, of course, lifestyle. Number two, stress management. And there's ways to deal with that, work with that. The power of your mind, the control center, the autogenic training, the biogenics. And then, of course, there's the devices like PEMF that literally support the gamma state, the delta state, and all of the other things that make us complete and make us happy and healthy. So I know it's been a long conversation, but I just wanted to get it out there. So how does it all tie in? Holism is everything: spirit, soul, mind, body. The key here is to identify the patterns that are healthy, identify the blueprint, get to understand how we are made as humans in the image and likeness of the Creator. Robin, am I hearing something in the background? Oh, okay. So that's as long as the audience and listeners are okay, that's fine. Yeah, thank you. I'm hearing a little hum. That's why I'm asking this, and I want the quality of this recording to be good, because this is valuable material, invaluable material. It's life. So, blueprint of health and life, spirit, soul, mind, body, and then just follow the healthy habits, follow the things that make us who we are and allow us to function and be at our best. Otherwise, you sacrifice yourself. And there's no reason to do that. Now, I've been talking a lot, so please feel free to jump in. I know you got a lot to say.
Well, the most important thing is happiness is an inside job. And you are optimally happy when the brain is in the gamma mode. It was first discovered in Buddhist monks who meditate 8 hours a day. Well, in 1 minute, this device, you can put your brain into gamma frequency. And you can stay there all day and all night if you wish. But in general, the gamma frequency is the best thing for a healthy brain, a healthy mood, a healthy, being.
Yeah, exactly. Now, at the same time, as a person uses the PEMF device, the gamma PEMF, I also want to say to be mindful of the work to be done in self-regulation and retraining of the nervous system, because without the work to put into resetting the neuroplasticity, the changing patterns of the brain, the mind, and how you react to life, it's a question of control center. Who is in control of the control center? Are you getting the outcomes you like? If you do, fantastic, stay with it. If you're not perfectly happy, if you could do better, and I don't know anybody who can do better. In other words, I know I can do better. I know Dr. Shealy can, and although it's kind of hard to beat perfection, but here's the thing: we can all improve on certain things, and we know what that is if we truly listen to our gut, if we truly pay attention. Why do we not do that? That's the question. Should we? Why not? It's not a luxury. It's a right. It's a right to feel good. It's a right to feel free. It's a right to be happy, healthy, free of depression, anxiety. It's our natural born right to be human, holy, complete. And Anything that takes away from that, well, that's not necessary. And now, Dr. Shealy, anything else that you'd like to mention on this topic? I know we're coming close to the end of the first half hour.
Well, it's important to optimize your brain function, and the brain ultimately is the control center of everything. But each organ has its own frequency and is optimized in general when the overall frequency is the gamma range.
Let's talk about another electromagnetic frequency, because this device is based originally, this is the second edition, or this is another edition. The original device was only gamma. In other words, was only the sweep. In other words, based on the Schumann frequency. And eventually then we added the second mode, the gamma, when we discovered the importance, and then the delta. So now you've got all three. But what was how did you originally come up with this concept of reintroducing the Schumann frequency? And I understand there's a process to that.
Well, I understand that the basic frequency of the Earth is 7.83. And we have energy centers in the body focused on something called the chakras. And there's 7 in the body, and the 8th then takes you to contact with the soul. But so I figured 7.83 times 7, but there's slight variations, plus or minus 2. So 5.83 to 9.83 is the first chakra, first energy center. And it continues all the way up to the 7th chakra, 7 times 7.83 plus or minus 2.
And I'm going to say the application of this technology, the application of what we're talking about, is most effective in the mental and emotional, to what I've seen, but it also works on the physical levels as well. Pain, recovery, inflammation, but also so many other factors. In other words, the sugar control, diabetes, blood pressure can come down. We had a number of examples, basically, where people came in. There was one lady who was sick with a viral illness, with the oxygenation dropping, to, was it 70s or 70s? And then we were, and with a optimization of the tissue, with a PEMF over the lungs, over the chest. Again, not saying it happens to everybody, but she was able to breathe okay on her own without oxygen. So, and she got through this eventually. There's so much benefit to all of the modalities, but you have to be open. You have to literally jump out of the box of conventional, of the matrix of society, because here's the thing. Now let's talk about conventional versus holistic. I mean, it's not even a versus, because holistic incorporates the conventional in my mind. Acute care, fantastic. You got a broken leg, heart attack, stroke, something that needs attention. As an emergency room doctor, I'm your guy. In other words, you need somebody who's got resources, who's got the connections, who's got the supplies, who knows how to follow the protocols to take care of acute stuff. Chronic, 6 weeks or more. Now, Dr. Shealy, how do you feel about chronic illness and management of chronic illness now?
Well, chronic illness always needs adjustment to frequency to restore the normal frequency of health. It's that simple.
And so the option in general, and this is what I see out there, people are chasing things. People are chasing illness and disease with drugs. They're chasing it with one drug, another drug, up to 4 blood pressure drugs, a bunch of sugar drugs for sugar control, cholesterol, one of my least favorites. I'm sure you got your opinion on the statin drugs and all that nonsense. But there's mood drugs, depression.
Mood drugs are among the worst in the world.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's
not a single mood drug that I recommend for anything. Period.
Alternatives, options. Realize you've got the power. Realize you were born okay. You were not born with a deficiency of Prozac, literally. You Prozac or Wellbutrin, any of those things, or for metoprolol or any other blood pressure or any other drugs. These are adaptations. The issue is, and this is where we have to, this is why this is so important, getting back into the true nature and the heartbeat of the earth, the heartbeat of our existence, the heartbeat of being a human. Because here's the thing: Schumann frequency is the heartbeat of the earth. Without that, without that frequency, without that effect on the brain, on the mind, the alpha, and also without that effect on the body, which controls every single cell, we cannot truly be healthy. And if we want to optimize and enhance, then we have to be mindful that in our society, we are faced with certain realities. Now, let's talk about the threats, or let's talk about some of the issues that are out there. And again, I'm not saying that this is a comprehensive list, but we're being poisoned, we're being literally annihilated from every direction possible: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Literally. What do I mean by that? Look at the food that we're eating: glyphosate, poison, GMOs, genetically modified organisms. Pretty soon, maybe genetically modified humans. Who knows? I mean, I like the original design. I don't think I'm smarter than God. And I'm, as a doctor, as a creator of certain thoughts, products, I can only, the best we can do is to imitate, understand, and do what happens in nature, natural ways, because otherwise we are literally creating abominations. And that's what happens in science. Not all creations are good. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And that's the thing. The other question is, who gets to play God? I'm going to ask a question. Do I get to play God? Do I get to save lives? No, I do not. In the emergency room, even after a successful code or life-saving procedure, it's not me who takes the credit. There's an expression in a statement basically that goes something like this: the patient is the one who does the healing. It is the doctor who entertains the patient and guides them as they go on their own way in recovery. So in reality, we are all self-healing, sustaining mechanisms, organisms, wonderful, biological, and beyond. We have physical body. We are more than that. We have a mind, thoughts, and emotions. More than that, we are spiritual beings. We're soul. We're spirit. We are infinite, powerful beings made of energy. We are energy. How we use that energy, how we optimize that energy, how we swim in that energy, what frequency, what. You can think of it in positive and negative. You can think of it as happy or unhappy, depressed, anxious, or you can think of it in terms of I'm okay, I'm good. Please.
And 80% of the food available for sale in the United States, at least, is junk, pure junk, dangerous to your health and your life.
And if you want to talk about food that's junk, what about news? What main media? What about all the garbage that comes into our brains, the control center? Our control centers are being controlled, guys and girls. I mean, it's really, this is an assault. This is literally an assault on humanity. So what do you need to do as a human being, as a sentient being, as a powerful being, spirit, soul, mind, body? You need to take charge. You need to take ownership of your life, of your health, and of your power. You need to take back your power, the control center, the decision maker. You need to make a decision. Do I want to be healthy? Do I want to be free? Do I want to be independent of this matrix of society which is crumbling and falling down? Do you want that? And if you do, take it. We'll be back after.
Every thought is a prayer.
Every thought.
Thinking sets in motion spiritual matter, period.
And all the matter that comes around is a result of the creation.
Yes.
We get to create. Yeah.
So don't pay attention to wallowing in manure.
And we are going.
When it comes to real estate, there are.
Okay, we are on a break. Well, I'm glad we're here. Any questions, thoughts, any comments? We'll be happy to take that right now on the online, and then of course, second part of the show, we take questions. It can be anything related to the energy, to the topic that we're talking about, or anything else in life. And Dr. Shealy and myself can just keep on talking for a long time. We have conversations that go on forever, and energy is infinite. So this could be a very, very long conversation unless you call us. Unless somebody turns us off, right?
Right.
All right. That's one option. But I'm still going to project it into the universe, and by projecting it, somehow it's going to come out into the reality. I know that. We have a question. Okay, let's take that.
All right. We do have a question on the internet. What are your recommendations for handling grief, stress, and general anxiety after the death of a spouse?
Oh,
Well,
wow.
you should prepare yourself because sooner or later, one of the spouses is going to die before the other. And my dear wife of 52 years died 11 years ago. And I would be wrong to say that it didn't bother me, but I detached. Within a year, I stopped playing a broken record about it. I realized how good she was.
And she's still with you
Well,
in
I've
your
had
heart, in your soul. I mean,
many visits from her and to our friends. And she actually gave me, within 24 hours of her death, the concept of the bliss oils.
let's talk about that briefly.
Well, I had been working with specific frequencies electrically that would improve health. And we know that DNA resonates, vibrates at 52 to 78 billion cycles a second, at a billionth of a watt. And you could put that frequency anywhere on the body and improve health. But interestingly, Fire Bliss raises DHEA, the anti-stress hormone. Air Bliss raises oxytocin, the nurturing bonding hormone. Water Bliss optimizes pain control. Earth Bliss decreases.
Actually, one of my favorite applications for the earth, especially since I had my back injury, is literally physical pain management.
Yes.
And it does work, basically calcitonin and otherwise. Now, the water bliss is also another favorite of mine, and that actually helps to control the weight and aldosterone and lots of other stuff.
And blood pressure.
And the blood pressure. So there's so many benefits. And so basically, so for us to, when I use the oils, I use all five, because there's actually a combination of the oils that are beneficial as well. And if you want to regrow your DNA, regrow the telomeres and live to maybe 150 or beyond, although I hear a lot of people saying that with the times being with what they are, with, well, who knows what's going to happen. But if we have the capacity and you have the desire, why not? Why not? So that'd be earth, fire, and crystal bliss. So that three combination of bliss oils, you will literally regenerate your DNA, your telomeres, so you can live healthier, longer, better. And now, of course, in order to do that, you have to have all the basic foundations of health to begin with. Nothing happens without lifestyle. And this is where, now I know I'm passionate about this, but you're more passionate about this. So lifestyle, nutrition, and let's explore it. Let's talk about it, because this is the foundation. You don't have that, forget everything else. I mean, don't forget it, but I mean, it'll be limited what you can do.
About 45 seconds.
About 45 seconds, we
the
can cover.
foundation is fruits and vegetables. 80% of the food you take in should be real fruits and vegetables. If it's not, well, you take junk.
Exercise, 30 to 60 minutes a day, most days a week. Sleep, 7 to 8 hours. Weight, body mass index. If you look in the mirror and it doesn't seem right, guess what? Chances are it's not. Stress management, huge factor. And we're coming back in.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters, 92.3 KICK and 99.5 KADI.
Now back to Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Norman Shealy and Dr. Sergey Leo Shealy-Sorin.
And are we on?
In today's polluted world, you need a great deal more basic vitamins and supplementation than you did 50 years ago. I mean, probably 50 years ago, you could get by healthily with maybe 500 units of D3 daily. Now, ideally, you need up to 50,000 once a week. And if you don't get it, well, you're going to be ill. B complex. Once upon a time, 1 or 2 milligrams of B complex. Now you need at least 24 milligrams of B complex to be healthy.
And that's in essentials.
And youth formula, vitamin C, a minimum of 2 grams a day to be healthy.
Plus MSM, which doubles the amount technically and raises DHEA. So many essential things. And the place to get it, well,
right here in Springfield, Spring Valley is where I shop, and you should too, because they serve you. They're there to help you find stuff in their thousands of items. They come help you find it. And they carry all of our goodies, the magnesium lotion, the bliss oils, everything we carry at Spring Valley, the place where I shop, and you should too. And of course, the average American is only getting 2.2 servings of fruits and vegetables a day instead of 8 you need. If you just add Nature Blessed tart cherry juice concentrate, 2 tablespoons, 1 ounce a day, you add another 3.5 fruits and vegetables. So the minimum 2.2 plus the 3.5, well, you a basic minimum. And in the grocery store, a real grocery store in the produce department, Nature Blessed tart cherry juice concentrate lowers your cholesterol, lowers your blood pressure, anti-inflammatory, and good for you.
And I do enjoy the taste, I do have to say. It's pretty fantastic. Now, we do have opportunity for questions, and please feel free to call us in, 417-447-1777. Anything on your mind, if you want to make a statement, comment, if you want to talk about anything that basically what was mentioned, if it touched your heart, if it made you think about something, just anything. Feel free to share. Otherwise, we'll just keep on talking, and we don't mind talking. We like to communicate here about, especially on this topics. Oh, we have a caller. Yes.
You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, Dr. Sorin, Dr. Shealy.
Yes,
ma'am.
Hi, my name is Marilyn, and I have 2 questions. The first is, what is the mode on your PEMF machine? I have one that is best for just general anxiety during the day.
Second mode, gamma.
Gamma is perfect.
Second.
It's the greatest. It's better than all the psychiatrists, drugs in the world.
And basically, what this device, so you can actually charge it, and you've got, in the gamma mode, you got about 5 to 6 hours battery life that's going to last you. You can actually walk around with it. I usually put it in a pocket, or it's not the smallest thing, but it's not the hugest thing. And then, of course, you can put this around your neck, or you can put it on top of a baseball cap, and keep it close to the head, because that's where the proximity will make for better treatment. 2 hours minimum, but up to 24 hours a day if it helps. I would at night consider a delta, or the third mode, which will help to sleep, relax, reset, because without sleep, it's kind of hard to function. You're just kind of burning the candle, and that's just from both ends.
And your other question?
I put it under my pillow.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. You had another question there?
Yes. I have really thin skin, especially on my legs. What's the best thing I can do for thin skin?
So basically, we're talking about a collagen. I take it. I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but approximately in what age category are you?
I'm 73.
Oh, okay, great. So this is in the postmenopausal. In other words, the hormones are no longer there to so much support the tissue. So things will happen.
I would work at raising DHEA.
4 different ways, naturally. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, of course, there are 4 ways of doing this. Magnesium lotion is at the top of the list. Secondly, it's the youth formula. exquisitely important. Third is fire bliss. It raises the HEA better than any other single study whatsoever. And you must reduce free radicals. Most people walking around with 3 or 4 plus, you won't need 1 plus or less. And you can do crystal bliss to reduce free radicals.
That's absolutely. One more thing, progesterone cream, eugesterone, which is another way to raise DHEA by 60%. So now you got 4 different ways to work with that, plus reduction of free radicals. That will be one of the best ways. Another thing I would do is topical application of, there's something called hyaluronic acid. It's it's usually made for horses. So don't, humans get the short end of the stick when it comes to health and wellness. Animals get far better care, far better food, far better quality of everything. Of course, to some degree, humans just don't take care of ourselves. So if you can find a hyaluronic acid, it's a thing you can put on the areas that will help quite a bit as well.
Oh, okay, because I have a bottle of that, so I should just put that on my legs.
Yes.
Yes, enjoy of it as much as you want to.
Yeah. Okay.
Or as much as the skin will allow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks
Wonderful
for calling.
questions. Thank you. Yeah. Do we have another?
Okay.
Yep. Take care. Yep. Is there? Do we continue talking, or do we just?
Okay. Now is your chance. 417-447-1777.
Yeah.
If you want to call us, you can get in touch with us right away and get your question. And you
We
on
have
the
a-
air.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I was talking to Dr. Shealy a number of years ago, and I need some help on trying to get off of high blood pressure medicine.
High blood pressure medicine. Getting off the pills. One of our favorite things to do.
Yes,
Yes.
I hope.
Well,
So what do you suggest? I don't remember.
Well, at the top of my list is an amino acid that is excellent for weaning from the crud of antihypertensive drugs.
Are you thinking taurine?
Okay.
L-taurine,
Yeah.
6,000 milligrams or grams a day.
Actually, 6 grams or 6,000 milligrams.
Grams.
Milli is 1,000. Yeah.
Now, is that of the amino acid, or is this?
It's amino acid, yes.
It's a semi-conditional or semi-essential amino acid. In other words, it's harder to make it, and it literally controls the electromagnetic charge in the cell membrane, so it doesn't overreact, underreact, and so blood pressure is a function. And this is in a holistic approach. And I would love for you to set up an appointment with Dr. Shealy or myself if you're.
I would appreciate it, but I haven't been able to find the phone number. Would you help me?
Yes, ma'am.
417-351-5221.
And I just the general thing
I
that
didn't
will.
hear that.
Go ahead,
I
please.
didn't hear it at all.
Oh, okay. Let me say it. Okay. 417-351-5221. And that's real holistic doc. We can do telephone, we can do in person, we can do all sorts of visits. The bottom line is when we do meet and when we talk, and it's going to be an hour consultation. If we need that time, it's available. We're going to talk about lifestyle. We're going to talk about stress management. We're going to talk about the things that make you tick. In other words, we're going to talk about the things that basically are unique in your life. There's no cookie cutter approach, but there's also things like taurine and a certain combination of supplements. And I think this needs to be a comprehensive approach. What happens in these cases is that people come into us for blood pressure, but they end up leaving feeling a lot better in many other ways. Now, I'm not saying everybody, but I would love to see you and see what we can do there.
Alrighty, I will call and make that appointment, and I do appreciate. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Yes,
for
ma'am.
calling.
Yep. And Dr. Shealy, you're starting to see a lot more patients now, aren't you?
Sorry?
You're starting to see more patients in the clinic.
Yes, I'm available for consultation.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's still, Dr. Shealy is actually doing a lot. There's research, there's other projects, but, I appreciate him being able to jump in.
Right now, we just finished a major research project on the effect of Stephen Halpern's music on the brain and functioning in general.
And it's interesting, it's fascinating again how the topic seems to come around to energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything is energy, frequency, and vibration, and everything is flow. If you're in the flow, great. If you're not in the flow, that's when stagnation begins. That's when problems begin. So you got to have physical flow, including physical flow of good nutrients. You got to have physical flow of body movement, activity, exercise. You've got to have flow of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. You've got to have this flow of everything in life, because otherwise what happens is things get stagnant. If you fall behind the time, so to speak, you're not able to respond and be in the present moment, and dysfunction. So that is what the one part of what we train. Do we have a... Oh, okay, let's take a call. Yes.
Oops. You're on the air.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, you're on the air.
Oh, hi. You're not showing I'm on the air. I have you on video, so I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. You're coming across loud and clear. We're all ears.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. I have a question about my PEMF.
PEMF.
And I've never slept so good in my life with the Delta. And I want to also find out, with the first setting, the chakra clearing, how I really want to get my cells cleared out, and how many hours a day is it beneficial to use that one? Because I use the second one because I have chronic depression. I use that a lot during the day. But I also want to clear out my chakras.
Yes, minimum a couple of hours a day, up to 24. Now, in this case, and I know you want to jump in on this. This is a balance because you only have 24 hours a day. So you can only, so you got 3 modes, and unfortunately you can't run more than one mode at one time. Go ahead. What are we going to say first?
Well, no, the 3 modes, and the one I like most is the gamma frequency.
Mm-hmm.
But Delta is good for relaxation and pain control and sleep, and the general sweep is good for everything else.
So I would at least switch over to the general sweep for a minimum of 2 to 3 hours a day. That's now, if you feel, give it a go. You'll see how it feels. If the gamma mode is doing better for you because of the brain, and that's the control center, use it, stay with it. But do give the body regeneration and the Schumann frequency a chance for at least a minimum of 2 to 3 hours a day.
Okay, thank you so much. I was just trying to use the gamma for sleep because of depression, but I found out the third one, I get like you were saying earlier, to reset the body, we need our sleep. And
yes,
for the last 2 nights, I've had the deepest, the most wonderful sleep. I really recommend that Delta for everybody in the world.
Wonderful. I'm starting to appreciate and love Delta as much as I do Gamma. I mean, I used to have my favorite, Gamma. That's what I want. But now I'm looking around. I'm like, I love the Schumann frequency too. I love the sweep. I love I love the relaxation with the Delta. It just depends what you need more at the time. Blessings. Yes.
Blessings. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for being you. Thank you for doing good work.
Any other questions? Well, remember, you are responsible for every decision you make regarding life itself. And the important thing is to live an optimal life, happy.
Now, the word responsibility, I love that word. I love playing with words. Responsible, responsible. It doesn't have to be a negative connotation. I was just talking to a dear friend and a client, and he's a very driven man. He's a very hard man to, in other words, he's got a lot of stuff on his shoulders. He carries on very well. He's got nice big shoulders, so he carries a lot of responsibility, a lot of support, but he is not taking care of himself. He is not allowing himself to reset, and what happens is you can keep giving as much as you can, but when you got nothing left, like a bank account, if you're empty, you've got nothing. You've got nothing for yourself. You've got nothing for anybody. And if you're going to be sharing anything, if all you're going to have left is frustration, anger, anxiety, stress, do you want to be sharing that? In other words, again, I'm not blaming, I'm not saying anything on that topic, but if you can do better, do you want to do better? Because that's what it's all about. It's an option. It's a choice. We have the freedom, we have the responsibility to take action, to take charge of our lives. Everything is energy. We are the masters of energy management. I'm not going to say disease management, because disease is dis-ease, lack of ease. So you got people who are healthy and at ease, and generally they don't have medications, they don't have problems. And then there's another subset of populations, and I'm sure we've seen plenty of that, and most people come to us because they have a problem and they want to get better, is there's disease, there's metabolic syndrome, diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol. It all comes together as a bundle. It makes sense. It's a consequence of lifestyle and other aspects. It can be reversed. Anxiety, depression, mental health. You don't have to have that problem. You don't have to wallow in manure. There's a way to optimize, to bring back the natural wellness, the milieu, the condition of the body that is actually conducive to health. It's like a garden. If the soil has good nutrients, and of course you got to take care of the garden. By the way, our garden is coming along really well. Thank you for planting. Appreciate. It's literally whatever you put in, that's what you get out. If you garbage in, garbage out, and this shouldn't be a surprise. If you're not experiencing good results in life, if you're not getting the good outcomes that you wish, change the pattern, change the action. You're going to have a change in what happens as a result.
And my favorite quote of all times, every thought is a prayer. To what are you praying most of the time? You can't afford the luxury of praying to negativity.
Yes, and yes. In other words, don't volunteer, don't give up your energy to the negative entities or things that want to take away your power, your life, your energy force. We don't have the luxury, and we don't have to. Now, not to forget, there is a 15% off sale on everything. And the code is summer22. The website is Real Holistic Doc, DOC, not doc as an animal, realholisticdoc.com. And basically, PEMF is off 15%. That's I'm not really great with mathematics, but it's additional $240 off. That's why papers are great. You can actually, I don't have to calculate stuff in my head. But so now that I've done my responsibility, here's an opportunity. Take care of yourself. Now, here's another thing to make very perfectly clear. We're not here to tell you that you need material things. You do and you don't. Well, you have physical body, you need to take care of the physical body. You need supplements, you need biological support, you need electrophysiological support, and it's good. And if it helps, allow yourself the luxury, allow yourself the right to feel good, to take care of yourself. Because you can. It's available and it's possible. If you don't, well, that's a choice, because the stuff is here. Most important, the control center. Who are you? What do you want? Where are you going? This is the ultimate power. This is the ultimate freedom. We're going to be celebrating 4th of July soon, and that literally means freedom. This is our favorite holiday, and as long as there's this great country that continues to be its great self, we're going to continue celebrating the 4th of July, and it's up to us to secure the freedom. It's up to us to secure the freedom, and it starts with our own self. It starts with the freedom within, with the power, capacity, and the strength to know that we are at our best. The control center, every action and everything that we do is conducive to who we truly are and what we really want. I want freedom. I love freedom. Love, light, and truth. That's all there is to it. This is my life. This is my responsibility, and I claim it. I take the power, I take the capacity, and I take the responsibility. Make a decision. Who are you? What do you want? Do you want to be at your best self? And if so, make sure you optimize your electromagnetic environment, bioenergetic environment, and everything else about you, especially your brain, your mind. And there's many ways to do so. So we're going to be closing the radio show soon. And if you're not subscribing, if you haven't subscribed to YouTube and Facebook Live, there's a lot more material there. So please do join us. And do follow the link on the bottom. We're going to be going off in just about a minute. Robin, how much time we have before we... I'm sorry?
About 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. So we do have 3 minutes, and at which point we'll have to basically get off the air, but we'll continue on YouTube Live and Facebook Live, and we'll continue taking questions. And if anyone has any comments or thoughts, or just want to say hello from where you are, we would welcome we'll welcome you here. So, Dr. Shealy, anything you want to say for the?
Well, thinking sets in motion spiritual forces. Think straight, think clearly, plan, create health.
And when you create health, when you create internally, the same concept. You have two tuning forks: internal tuning fork, external tuning fork, so to speak. We don't have control over the external always. We do control the internal. We can. We should. So we should.
Okay.
Caller.
You on the air?
Hi. How are you?
I wanted to speak with Dr. Shealy and Dr. Sorin.
Yes.
You are
here?
on. Hi.
Hi, is this Dr. Shealy?
Yes, and Dr. Sorin, both.
Hello,
Hi.
Dr. Shealy. Dr. Sorin.
Hmm.
I'm glad to be on the air with you both.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I have consulted with both of you. This is Tanya. And I hear myself, so hang on, I'm going to not hear myself.
Tanya, turn your radio down.
Okay, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Tanya, if we run out of time, please stay on with us, and we'll continue the conversation for after when the radio finishes, because it sounds like we should. So we shouldn't. I don't want to cut this off. But let me actually let's take the opportunity to finalize and close out the official radio program itself, because it's coming up in less than a minute, and just stay on with us, dear. How's that?
I will do that. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate it.
Wonderful.
I wanted to let you and the audience know I just started the program with the PEMF, the bliss oils, and the adrenoscaler within the last 3 weeks. And I can't tell you what a huge difference the PEMF device makes in my life. The quality of my sleep, the quality of my meditation. The Shealy sleep is great for waking up in the morning and going throughout the day as long as I want. The bliss oils are absolutely probably the single most incredible acupuncture device that I've ever had in my life for opening my energy centers. And I so appreciate that, without the needles, without having to go places, because I'm homebound and I'm paraplegic at the moment, and I'm looking to change that.
Yes, ma'am.
And I really feel very connected with everything that I've followed. And I just wanted to let you know how appreciative I am. And you just really can't imagine.
Stay on with us, please. I don't want to. I want to continue the conversation, please. You're wonderful. Thank you. And for everyone out there, have a wonderful day. Take care. Stay with us for YouTube Live and Facebook Live, and we're going to continue the conversation with the young lady there. So I think we're still on, and please continue, and no rush. At this point, we have all the time in the world, so to speak. So please, thank you so much for sharing that. So we talked about, you mentioned about the PEMF, about the bliss oils, the transcutaneous acupuncture without the needles. So wonderful, wonderful. Please do continue. And so you were saying?
Well, when I came to you, obviously it was last resort, and I was happy to speak with you about Dr. Sorin first and then Dr. Shealy. And I just wanted to let you know, Dr. Shealy, how much I love you. And we have this Edgar Casey connection that I have to tell you about. I did my hypnotherapy certification there back in 2003. And I was actually this test subject that went in between lives, and where the in between lives therapy came from. And you were him. You're him for me in the living. And because I had this connection with him. And I would love to tell you about that personally sometimes, because I feel that, I'm always connected to Edgar Casey. And that's what facilitated my drive to connect with you. And I was so happy to read your books. I bought about all your books, I think, and I've read at least 4 of them. In the morning, yes, my husband loves me reading it. So laying in the bed with the PEMF.
Oh, God bless.
Right, and I loved your suggestion for the tablespoon of peanut butter. It's very nice.
Oh, yeah. Thank
all kinds of little things like that. I do have questions. I haven't received the rejuvenatrix yet, but I've been using the adrenoscaler, the bliss oils. I did receive the pens, and I've got the PEMF.
Yes.
So being with the issues that I know you both are aware of, as far as the ligaments and tendons and the challenge with those being knocked out, severely compromised to the point of the things that I go through.
Yes.
The PEMF, I do love yours better than anyone I've ever tried, Dr. Shealy, even more than the Beamer, more than the IMRS. I love the way that I can actually lay it on me, on my front. I don't feel a lot on my backside, of course, lowers, but I feel the energy sweep through my brain. My brain is picking up things. And I even felt, I don't know if it was a surge of electricity or blood just yesterday for the first time, or spinal fluid, maybe, I'm not sure. But I was wondering, for me personally, would there be, I just had this dream about wearing like the rings on my legs and my arms and around my neck at the same time. Would there be any additional benefit to that?
Yes. It's basically it's the strongest. The effect of the PEMF, and there's 3 modes in there. And I do know. I'm not going to say too much on the air because it's, again, confidentiality. But yes, I understand you've got quite a situation.
Can you wait just a moment? Let me check something.
Okay.
They're all attacked.
1 sec. Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah, we had to little computer check. So yes, you're in a tough spot. And again, I'm not going to say this on the air because confidentiality and privacy. But yes, the second coil. There's actually a way to get a second coil going, so that you've got one on one part of the body and one on another part of the body. It's divides it, and again. It works. It works well. So I would do that. The Tracy at the store, I think it's realholisticdoc.com. She has those.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. But I also want to say thank you for what you're saying, because everything is energy, and the fact that you're managing, the fact that you're doing so well in the situation where you are. I mean, not many people would be able to handle what you went through. So you and the fact that you're doing better is really a miracle. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. And also, do you ever do custom devices? Could you make a custom ring, like a waist belt or a hip belt, or something that I could? Is it possible? Like, the Rejuvenatrix is made. I know it's a big ask, but I just felt like maybe, I think it's the sagittal plane that I'm missing, because it's from what I can sense, and the doctors say it's everything. The paralysis of lumbar nerves. But is there a way to hit that plane at that intersection that would cross-section the spine, in all 5 aspects of the spinal cord? This is my own intuition. Intuition is a beautiful thing, Dr. Shealy, as we know.
Intuition is beautiful, yeah. I think Rejuvenatrix, that's the mattress that has human DNA frequencies. That will probably be a good addition to your what you got there. In addition to everything else.
Everything.
Yes.
I purchased everything you have available for the most part. I'm waiting on the Rejuvenatrix.
We're honored. So that's the final piece, right? That you're.
Yes, and I look forward to being in contact with appointments soon.
Oh God, yes,
Wonderful.
absolutely. Thank you. God bless, and thank you for being you. And this is a perfect example of how a person can overcome. Everything is energy. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Well, I love being connected with you all, and Dr. Shealy, thank you for your amazing work and your heart and who you are, and for you too, Dr. Sorin. Thank you.
And blessings to you.
Thank you, ma'am. That's why we exist. Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you soon.
Yes.
Blessings.
Now, do we have any?
Thanks.
Yep. Thank you so much. Yeah. Any other comments, thoughts, hellos on World Wide Web?
I don't know how many. There's quite a few, but it's already 5 after.
Any questions? Anything else comes to mind? Please, we'll be happy to answer as well.
We have a Facebook person that's asking, how do you increase dopamine in regards to the loss of dopamine with Parkinson's?
The cranial electrical stimulator which I discovered in the late 70s, is excellent for raising dopamine.
It's now it goes by the name of Fisher-Wallace, doesn't it?
Well, I have two versions of it. The what I call the
Liz version, original.
Rejuvitins, and the original.
And actually, so for that, it's a device. It's another device, two electrodes. That one is electric, so you actually feel the electricity. This is magnetic. You can touch everything. There's no, you don't feel anything specific. The magnet will show you something. Sorry, the thing with the other device, the Fisher-Wallace cranial stimulator, and we have it available in our clinic and otherwise, is it raises serotonin and it helps with the brain chemistry in that way. So that's one thing to consider adding. But the PEMF in the setting of Parkinson's. Now you've had a couple of good stories with the Parkinson's.
Oh, phenomenal.
With the PEMF specifically,
yes.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to mention?
Well, a man who could not talk or stand, in 1 month he walked in the clinic.
That's big, because these things are generally considered irreversible and non-fixable. But I've seen stuff with even diabetic neuropathy, CPRS, just all kinds of stuff. Anybody else there on?
Another question, and when using the PEMF at night, should you keep it plugged into the wall or should you use it on the battery?
The best thing about the PEMF is that you get to charge it at night, and then the charge is going to last anywhere from 5 to 6 hours on the gamma mode, and a little longer, up to 8 hours on the sweep mode or the delta mode. So I would charge it as much as you can, and then just walk around with it all day. I mean, so my general routine is, and I usually don't leave home without it. But I've got one everywhere. At the house, I've got one in the office. I've got one everywhere I go. There is even a car adapter, as a matter of fact. So basically, night is the delta mode for me. It just helps me to reset, fall asleep, deep sleep. Helps with the discomfort of that I have some back troubles from the accident, so that calms things down too. Bottom line, relaxes things. First mode I like basically for during the day for regeneration at minimum 2 to 3 hours a day, and the gamma mode is what I start the morning with, because if I can optimize my brain in the early wee hours of the morning, which I'm not a morning person, I haven't been, it actually helps me function. It helps me do what I got to do. And then during the day, I wake up, then I don't need the gamma so much. I mean, I can do my own thing. Then I can just do the general sweep. How do you utilize the?
Well, I use gamma most of the time. I just like the status, but I sometimes use delta to sleep, but rarely.
Well, you fall asleep easily. I mean, you don't have a problem with that. Yeah, but that's again self-regulation. This is from a man who invented gave birth to biogenics, self-regulation. So I would be surprised if you weren't able to fall asleep on your own without help. So from stuff. Well. Anything else?
Last question. Somebody wanted to know what to do with or for high cholesterol.
Ooh.
Oh, well.
Stay away from drugs. Stay away from statins.
Yes, avoid statins. Trimethylglycine is the top of the list. Now, you take it 3 times a day and add lecithin granules 2 tablespoons a day.
And of course, anytime we talk about chronic illness, you have to have all the basic building blocks. Otherwise, it doesn't work well. Lifestyle, nutrition, activity, sleep, stress management. And we talk about orogenic and training in biogenics to reset the nervous system, to retrain yourself. Self-regulation, one of the key factors. You release more cholesterol in a single episode of stress than you do by eating 20 eggs. Literally. So we don't have the luxury of stress, and the world is just putting stress on us, which means we got to have stress management techniques, being able to manage or work with that, because it's here. It's not going anywhere, and it's going to get more and more and more. So that means we need stronger self-regulation. We need stronger capacity to be okay within. If we're okay within, We can create the world outside. Resonance by actions, consequences. We literally are in charge of our lives. We have the power. That's holism. Anything
And
else?
Until next week.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good one.
Oh, and I guess one more time, just to mention, we mentioned a lot of good products. Again, it supports the body. Ultimately, the power is you. The power is within you. Do you need anything specifically? If you ultimately, not really. But as long as you have a physical body, take care of it. Do the lifestyle. Do the things that help. Take care. Do the supplements that give the body the nutrients that it needs. And the topic we talked about today. Electromagnetic support, Schumann frequency of the earth, the brain language of the brain, the alpha, which is kind of reset, and how it all connects, and the electromagnetic nature of DNA, life, and everything else. And most important thing, take care, be healthy, be happy. See you next time.
Have a good one.